legends. The stars are beginning to align, leggies. The big short is coming. The parameters are already met, or nearly are met. The parameters are nearly met. And in this stream, we might get those parameters met. So we're going to fucking go live and we're going to do this. I'll see you on the flippers. I'm setting up. I'm going to listen to some beats as we go, leggies. A couple beats. I'll let you guys come in. It's up, down, and round, baby. Up, down, and round. Just like us traders out here, leggies. First, and then we're going to get involved, leggies. Flex to the beats, and then the parameters are already met. Well, I said it again. The parameters are nearly met. A few parameters are getting close, and then the big short will happen. It's going to be very interesting. But I'm going to listen to some beats first, legends. Let this run, and I'm going to get set up. Hit the like button, all that kind of jazz, and we'll get this going. Let me post this about. Yeah, I need to get some decks so I can spin up and mix the tracks together before the stream. Just let it run and mix. I'm actually gonna get a mix deck and just fucking do a little DJ set before we spin it. I'm looking at my house beats now. I'm gonna look through. But yeah, it's kind of bringing me back. It's kind of giving me like PTSD of Ibiza. But it's been a couple of weeks, man, and I'm back. My head is back. What we need is some fucking jams. But I'll put on some funky stuff in a minute as well. The funkle, dizzle, funk, rizzle is, you know, has a place in my heart, obviously. The old funk dizzle. It's a real nice track, actually. I might play in a second. One sec. Classic. This is a classic, leggies. This is an old school classic. This is going back to like Portugal days, leggies. I remember listening to this. You know when a track brings you back to a place? I know exactly. And actually, this one's actually better. The house one. Is this the right one? Let me have a look. Oh shit. Yeah, there's a house version and there's an original version. Yeah, that's flex. Get to madness as well. Yeah, it's a slightly different version. Still nice. Still flexy. Let me find the actual original version. This one. Yeah, this is classic, bro. I'm turning up on my speaker as well, my own speakers. Hey, I'm coming in a minute, legends. It's obviously a very obscure time to stream. It's like only 6:30 in Dubai, so it's early for you guys in the West. In the West, it's early, legends. Anyway, I'll be with you in a minute. Yo, this brings me such mental memories back of Germany and Portugal. get my venue, it's gonna obviously be 60s, 50s vibes, but I'm still gonna blast out a few house bangers every now and again for sure. Yeah, I'm gurning already, ladies. I'm gurning for the big short. The big short's coming. The parameters are already met. I'm getting a little bit of a pop-up on Bitcoin right now, but I would say that, you know, I'm gonna be eyeing this up for the next couple of... I'm gonna be streaming every day for a week at least to catch this fucking short, ladies. Chill. Just have a relaxation period and get in the chat, hit the like button on the way in. I'm getting set up. Just listening to some old school bangers. This is an absolute track from back in the day. I used to listen to this. This is back in the Germany days, man. Fuck me, in Portugal. Hit the like button on the old stream. Let's go. Outside the line. Oh, come to me, my fantasy tonight. I'll apologize for like the beginning of this track. It's just got a nice naughty little beginning, this one. Just like, yeah, let's move, leggies. This is when you come in. It's a beach fucking environment. You got chicks at the bar. You're walking about with a fucking peach daiquiri. You're drinking shit you've never drunk before. You're drinking fucking passion fruit cockies and peach daiquiris being handed to you by fucking chicas. That's that little intro there. Like, yo. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Up, down, and around, brother. Like that trading game. But I already listened to this. We already played this one from the start. This one's mental, I think. I can't remember this track. Okay. Yeah, this is dress code shit. This is a bad one. Let's put something more jammy on. Let me find a little jammy one. I've been listening to a lot of digitalism at the moment, actually. I got back into digitalism. It's like,
you wanna know the dress code? Okay. We don't have a dress code.
No dress code, ladies. You come into these streams, you ain't got a fucking dress code. Dress code's off.
We don't have a dress code.
If anyone knows... Yeah, I get it.
You just gotta let go. embrace yourself. Shut up.
Yeah, this actually came on in Ibiza. I was like, oh shit, are we doing this?
You just gotta let go. You wanna know the dress code? We don't have a dress code. You just gotta let go. Really. And embrace yourself.
We're coming in a second, legends. I'm just jamming up some random beats. I just saw one on my list. I was like, you know what? It is a banger. This is an old school classic. Like most of you guys, if you've been around the garage scene, you gotta remember, like in the 90s, I was born in 92, but I'd say end of the 90s, moving off into that 2000s region. Brother, this kind of stuff here, this was just the kind of thing. And I think this is actually produced in it was a 90s. It's a 90s one and got big in the 2000s, I think. But this is a classic. But we're going to get into the stream in a second. I'm just enjoying playing some beats. And it's very early here. It's not even 7 p.m, so it's going to get mad. I just jumped it forward, ladies. That garage vibe shit. I've been getting into this stuff though recently. Digitalism, man. This has actually got a nice bit at the end. Anyway, we're gonna start this stream. I'm gonna kick this stream off. Let's get this show on a road, leggies. Because I'm on the right screen, you can see me. We got a different hat today. Every single day, guys, I'm gonna be streaming. It's gonna be a different fucking hat. We had the Jaws hat a couple of days ago, but actually I want to put this one back on because it's going to be a sharky day. We're going to be looking at short. We're going to be looking at the big short. I'm going to be looking for about $1 million short position when the parameters become met. I need to get the parameters met first for this short to play out. Hopefully the sound's working very nicely. But we've got like 7 of them. We've got Jurassic Park. We've got Jaws. We've got Dixies. We got Universal. We've got freaking PlayStation, man. I've got hats coming for days, but the PlayStation one's a bit small. I put it in the wash and it's a bit small. Anyway, guys, back to the old Charterunientes. So, the Big Short, legends. I'll just address the title straight away for all you guys coming and watching this later on. The parameters are getting closer to be met for the Big Short, okay? And it's probably going to be between $1 million will be probably the max, between $500K and $1 million short, depending on if the probability is higher. So if it's a higher probability setup, MDX with hat, yeah, that should be a fucking meme coin. Someone make that, let's go. So, depending on the probability, because there's 3 variants, like I said in the last stream, we've got the buy signal on the MDX Trading Bot, which you can see already. We've got the EMA ribbon, and we have a Fibonacci pocket, okay? And we've had a few, examples of this happen in the past where I've only taken a smaller position because some of the parameters weren't met. If all the parameters are met, it's going to be towards the $1 million trade, okay? Now, we did have, the reason it's getting closer is because, like, I'll explain again, I won't, bore you to death from the last stream, but at the end of the day, guys, if you turn on the indicators, okay, you can see that we did have a little bit of a push down. We had a sell signal on the lower time frame indicators. Now, I'm leaving on the MDX Trading Bot because this is the strategy we're going to use. We did almost come down to the stop loss line. Now, the stop loss line, what does it mean? The stop loss line here, this green line, means that this buy trade here, leggies, this buy trade there, will take profit. When the price action of Bitcoin on the hourly time frame closes below this green line, which is the Chandler stop dynamic stop loss, it doesn't close if it touches it. It only closes if it closes below it. So you have to get an hourly close. When we do get eventually a red signature like this saying sell, so you can see here, this is a good example. It sold, price went down, buy, lovely counter trade, and then the big, obviously, winning trade we had recently. This is actually taken about a few weeks, if not longer, to happen. You can actually see it on Bingx. I'll get up my trading bot side for you now. I think it's probably in around 17% profit still. Hasn't closed yet, anything like that. And basically, that whole thing I just did there is how you look at the MDX Trading Bot. So you go on current positions, it's looking at 17.7%, okay? That's in terms of what the winning trade of the MDX Trading Bot is right now. So very, very good. But we know that if it has a significantly big winning trade, the probability of the next trade being a counter trading opportunity, which you can read about on the mdxalgo.com. So it's mdxalgo.com/trading bot. I'm going to do this from the beginning. I'm not going to go and flick between this a million times. I'm just going to put it in the chat from the beginning so you guys can go and read it, because I've said it already in my last stream. But the bigger the trade win, the more likely the next trade is going to be a losing trade. So what you do is you counter trade like this one here. You counter trade the buy signal. And guys, also the flat rate of that trade being a winning trade is 63%, because the win rate on the bot is only 37%. So if you intelligently counter trade the MDX Trading Bot in range-bound environments, or if it's had a big win, then you can say to yourself, okay, look, 63% chance of that trade playing out. And then you add the extra confluent factors. I said it in my prior stream. It will be from the high to the low. Is it hitting Fibonacci pocket regions? Hasn't got this. We haven't actually sold the bot yet, so this is not valid. But it breaks the bot, it sells. If you come into the Fibonacci pocket zones between the 618 and 786, that's a massive extra, increases the probability of it playing out. And then the EMA ribbon, guys, and I showed you on the last stream, it'll look something like this. So the EMA ribbon you can see here, it'll actually be on the focus settings, but the EMA ribbon's coming round. You have a Fibonacci pocket from here to here. You have a buy signal. It's coming into resistance at the EMA ribbon, and you have a Fibonacci of the golden pocket. And then that would be where you take the short. And very likely, guys, the price action will probably go down after you take that position. Looking at the backtested results and the probability through the win rate, it's very high that that's going to happen. Okay, so at this point, like I said to you guys, I'm going to stream pretty much every single day until these parameters are met. And then when those parameters are met, I'm going to take the trade. I'm going to be watching this. I'm literally just going to dedicate my whole life in the next 2 weeks. It'll probably take within, actually, a week probably. But I'm going to dedicate everything into this because I got the time, I got the energy, and I can do it without any distractions. And I want to do this for you in the community so you can capitalize on it as well. And then you guys can go on the website, mdxalgo.com/tradingbot, and learn it for yourself, use it for yourself. It's free. I'm doing this because there's so many fucking scammers in crypto. It's a free resource, but the reason that I'm promoting it so much is that I get paid through exchange traded fees on the exchanges. If you use the product, the MDX Trading Bot on Bingx, we recommend Bingx. And also, guys, if you want to see the signals on TradingView, you do need to purchase an MDX Algo subscription. So those are the two reasons why I'm promoting it. That's how I make my money, just to be completely transparent. But then I get to a position where I can give you this trading strategy away for free, so you can capitalize on it, make money, spend fucking trading fees, which I then make money, and then also buy the product. It's a fucking circle of jerk. It's a circling jerking. Everyone's getting jerked, okay? It's like jerk chicken. You go to the Jamaican shop, they've got great jerk. They're jerking it all up. Everybody's having a great time, and everybody's enjoying themselves because that's the culture of Jamaican people. Anyway, my mate Brownski's like, brother, can't be saying these things, even though I can, but, you know. So the devil level edges, let's talk about the dev lev. We'll put on auto charting tools now. We'll put up all the levels. So you can see auto charting tools essentially shows you all of the relevant support levels on the way down. So this is a slightly different thing we're doing right now. That's the short, that's the setup, that's what I'm going to be doing. And you can see, legends, that this yellow line is the devil level. So it's the dev lev, and we did actually just fall below it with a wick, and then we've popped back up above it. Obviously, there's no wick on this chart, but if you want an hourly chart, it will look like a wick on the low. Okay, so you can see it's a wick there. So you've wicked down through it. This is just indicative of buyers prepared to come in at certain price points because we have a significant SR level. And actually what you can see, to be completely fair to the market, is we came down to this level, which is the prior high. And what the market's doing is essentially it's making higher lows, higher highs. You can see here on the high price, usually of the first resistance pocket. That's when you're going to find support, because we trade SR. Support and resistance trading is the bread and butter of this game for me, especially when it comes to Bitcoin. So I would say we're getting a bounce off this now, but we are still making lower highs along this. What I'm waiting for is us to lose the devil level decisively, come in like this. This then sells. The bot takes profit. It rallies back up. We get a buy signal, Fibonacci extension, and then we've got, Fibonacci retracement, and then we've got the EMA ribbon. So that's what I'm looking for the parameters to be met for this short position. I'm not actually saying that I think Bitcoin's going to go down. I'm just placing a short on the proposition that I think if the parameters that I look at are met, I will take that trade on a basis of risk to reward. So I'm not saying to you, oh my God, I think it's going to go down. Like what most traders do is they say, I'm shorting the market because I think it's going to go down. No, you short the market regardless of what you think. You long the market and you short the market regardless of what you think is going to happen. You do it because the parameters in your strategy are met. And when you want to do stuff like, I think this is going to happen, I think that's going to happen, that's called analyzing the market and doing a more higher time frame context, or saying to yourself, I think this might happen, but I'm still going to go by my rules and be prepared for anything which will happen within my rules and the parameters that I have set. Okay, so yeah, I've said that probably in this channel. Obviously, we're not in the biggest trading pocket right now in terms of time. I've probably said that on and off stream. If I actually was going to be realistically speak about that shit, I've said that over like 25,000 times probably. Anyway, so yeah, we're getting close. The devil level is the line in the sand. If you're looking at this market and you're like thinking to yourself, okay, so what is a defined level to break for lower prices? It is the devil level. We are on it right now. We are getting, support from this level here, because we know that very likely support turns to resistance, or resistance turns to support. And this was resistance, and now it's turning to support. And I said on our prior stream, guys, that this would be a good level to just look to buy flat SR. But, legends, if we do come up here, back down to here, fuck around, another lower high, create some sort of descending formation and break this, then we could be looking for some significantly lower prices, okay? And I'm not saying significantly low, like breaking massive structure. We've had a phenomenal move on Bitcoin, and I think that Bitcoin has done more than, what most people thought it would do, actually. I was expecting to get some resistance here, maybe come and retest 61, but it's just blasted off. We didn't get any real pullbacks to 61. 61 would have been a great buy. But this is a very, very good move in terms of it's articulating that, generally speaking, the market is in a good place in terms of buyers are outpacing sellers. If you want Bitcoin to go up long term, if you want Bitcoin to go down long term, that means it's bad for you. It's good if you want Bitcoin to rise in the long term, which essentially is articulating the use case of the product, because it's a store of value and you want to use it to save. So the higher the price goes, the more people are saving in it. So long term, in the medium term, this is a good sign. It doesn't mean, though, we can't have a nice big pullback, which could offer up some extremely nice opportunities, looking between 5 to 15%. And that's what I'm looking for when the parameters are met for this short. I'm going to take that short on the premise of that, taking an opportunity within actually a broader long-term bull cycle, I would say. And, you could say you're carving out some sort of sideways flag formation. I don't go with that. I think it's a little bit of a meme, actually, in crypto, looking at flag formations and pattern recognition. There are things you can look at for pattern recognition to give you confluence, but I would say that, generally speaking, you're much better off going by the flat SR and just building parameters into your strategy that you can actionably do, which are quantifiable, and you can use them time and time again consistently. So I would say that, yeah, this is a really, really good move from Bitcoin. This level up here, I would say, if we do continue now, it's going to be, the parameters of the short will be met probably at a higher price point. $72,000 is the high price. I do think, if you look at auto charting tools, this is a very, very, very accurate indicator in terms of plotting out the significant SR levels. You can bring on the volume delta, and it's going to show you all these kind of things as well, but we'll get into that later. But this level here, guys, 72, it's actually a pocket in terms of where the wicks are and when the body closes are. We're looking at between 69 and 72. If we came to there now, I would say it would be very likely we get something. We've had multiple iterations here of significant sell-offs when we've come into this pocket. I don't think it'll be any different the next time we come into it. Let's just say this, though. If we come into it now, I think the pullback's going to be more significant. If then we go like this and then come up to it, I think it'll be less significant, okay? So depending on the way you come into the market or the way the price moves, it's essentially like a stack. It's like the market is essentially, the way it approaches certain levels can tell you a lot about what's actually happening in the psychology of the market, where the buyers and sellers are. The approach to these levels, if we went like that and then found it, so if we went through it and then found it support, it's a completely different approach than if we go down and then into it, okay? So, yeah, I think there is 66 resistance. I do think there could be a really good short here. The oscillators are coming up as well quite rapidly, to be honest. Let me just get rid of the ads for you. Look at that. I'm skipping the ads for you, legends. I'm playing fucking copyrighted music, skipping the ads. I'm just giving you it. Just giving you the content. I don't need to make money off that shit. We've made a lot of money. This is more to do with building a strategy which you guys can actually use, and then making money through passive income through the partners and my MDX algo product, okay? So, yeah, this is really, really interesting, guys. And I do think there could be a short here. When those parameters are met, I will take it. Let me drink some water because my throat's going all weird. And, guys, ask loads of freaking questions in the chat. It's going to be another one of those long-ass streams, I think, today, sire. And I'm fasting as well. So, if the parameters are met, I do think it's a good short. The take profit for that short will be coming down to 61,000. 61K will work well. This will be where I take my first TP. I'll actually probably take a TP at this level as well, but it'll be a small amount just to get out of the trade and make it so it can't be lost. But I'd say 61K is the next buy zone for me. in terms of on the way down. 66 is a sell. It still is a sell regardless. And if we do break above the wick and come to 72, then it's invalidated. You get stopped out. You go to the next levels, okay? But I'm saying that if we do come down now, 61 is the first level I'm looking to buy. That will be where I'll take a significant amount of profit from the short that I'm going to try and take if the parameters are met. And then if we come up to 72, there will probably be another pullback on that. But, you know, if we go to 72 now, in terms of we just hold up here and we go into 72, it's probably going to be a more significant pullback at resistance than if we went down and then up into it, okay? So just want to make that completely clear. If we come down to 61, I don't think the resistance will be actually that. It won't be as, let's say, fortified, because you got to remember that this is a springboard, essentially, of a higher low. Everybody sells out. Guess what? You've then got everyone who sold here then becomes a buyer on the way up, and it essentially accelerates the price action, okay? So if you think about it in terms of, how could I articulate this in an easy way to understand? So I've said this before, but people who buy things that go down are usually stronger hands than people who buy things that go up, okay? So when people buy things that which go down, they create a support for the price in terms of lots of buyers are coming in, and all those people who sold end up foaming back in anyway, but you've already got the strong hands beneath it. So you build a good concrete base, and then all the twats who got into the wrong side of the position then end up foaming back in, because you can only click green or red. So it creates a springboard which will very likely, not obviously 100%, but very likely mean that this area of resistance is less sold into, if not smashed more with more buys, okay? It's just hitting the hammer in that area of resistance, okay? If we come into it like this, what you're going to see is there's going to be less juice. There's going to be less strong hands who would have been buying the dip, because they're buying when it's higher, so they're a weaker hand. And then the resistance will probably take over, and actually those guys will probably come out the other side, okay? And we got to look at long to short ratio and all this kind of stuff, and we'll whip into a long to short ratio quickly right now, but it's kind of, in my opinion, at 50-50, it's not giving you much of an edge in the market. 50-50 is interesting, all right? And I'll tell you that it's interesting because, you know, we're at essentially the top of Bitcoin's price in terms of we're very close to the all-time high, and we still have 50% of the market short at that point. You know, that's not a great sign, okay? What you really want to see, legends... Sorry, let me make this completely clear, because sometimes you get it muddled up. Having 50% of the market long at the top is not a great sign. You would like to see more shorts at the top, more people offside for the price then to fall, okay? In terms of the other way around, if everyone's getting into shorts up here, it's not a good confluence factor to a lot of indicators you look at, or the price action itself, because what usually happens is that most of the market is wrong, and those shorts will essentially become the fuel to go up, okay? But 50-50, it's kind of in the middle. It's not really giving much. I would just say that because there's 50% of the fucking market right now long, it'd be nice to see more shorts for it to continue up. And if everyone's getting long up here, 50% could go down. So I'd say, just to completely clear this point up about long to short ratio right now, the long to short ratio is extremely valuable as a confluent factor with a broader trading strategy. When it's 50-50, it's not really giving you much information, okay? Only to the fact that maybe because we're so high up in price, it's what it is basically is actually, it's not, if for me, it's like this. If it was 70% long, I'd have more conviction in the short. If it was 70% short, if it was 70% short, I have more conviction in the long, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. But right now, I'm still going to stick to the parameters that I think will be met in my swing trading. This is actually going to be a short term. So I have a swing trading strategy, which is the MDX Trading Bot. And within the swing trading strategy, if you build a successful swing trading strategy, it's very likely that it will be a successful scalp trading strategy if you invert it in terms of taking the opposite side of the trade from, if it's a 37% fucking win rate, if you start counter trading the other side, that means you have a 63% win rate if you're scalping invertedly. Anyway, it is an advanced trading strategy, and that's why we recommend reading this, because when you read it, you're probably going to get a better understanding if I try and explain it, because it's not that simple to explain. It's quite complicated, okay? In terms of, well, it's not really. You just counter trade the fucking bot when it's in a range-bound environment. I know I've said this a million times, but I understand that a lot of that stuff can probably go over people's heads. Now, what we want to do is look at the short term for you guys. So I've done the long term, medium term. Actually, we'll quickly do the long term properly. I won't bother with the dealers. It hasn't changed from yesterday. I'm doing a stream every day at the moment, so it hasn't changed. Bitcoin number 9, great, looks amazing. The CBBI, will quickly whip this up. And also the ETFs for Ethereum ETFs have gone live. That is not going to change the Bitcoin treasuries, but there probably will be a website similar to this coming up in the future, which will show, the Ethereum treasuries and see where Ethereum's been, essentially how much has been holed up in institutional supply. And right now, it's gone up a little bit, but ETFs, countries, public companies, private companies, BTC, money companies, in DeFi. DeFi, hello, how are we? I'm from Francais, huh? DeFi. Hey, is it? Or DeFi? I sound like when you say fucking kefir or kefir. So, yeah, 12.6% is still very good. For the long term, the Bitcoin treasury looks great. CBBI, I've said for a million times before as well that we are looking for a consistent move, cyclical bear movement within a longer term bull market. It would be very shocking to me to see that 82 on the CBBI topped out this Bitcoin bull market. It's much more likely to go to 98 or 100, like every single other bull market has done that. Whether it's been the high or the top, that remains to be seen. But I would just say that at some point, the CBBI will go to 98 to 100, and that will be a good signal to say potentially the longer term bull market is over. We'll look at some altcoins in a minute. How's the thing looking right now? Can you guys see me? There's a little bit of light still coming out. The sun is still out a little bit. So Twitter as well, guys. Obviously we've got some competition. So by Twitter, go and retweet this, and you got a chance to win the money. I'm giving away all the money from the long on Bitcoin. So this long from here, you can see it there. This is a 17.5% winning trade. I am in that position because I use my trading bot for my trading. And then you can actually win that by going on my Twitter and just retweeting that post, okay? And then let's go into the short term. Let's get into the 5 minutes and all those lovely little degen timeframes. Even though I've said this before, if you trade lower timeframes, it does not mean you're strictly speaking a degen. There are people who I know who trade lower timeframes the whole time, high velocity trading, and make lots and lots of money. So it's just you're just a degen because you're a degen. You're not a degen because you trade lower timeframes. But lower timeframes are a little bit more exciting. Let's just say that. Exciting, more going on, volatility. Guys, 152 people, right? The core community. Like, this is the deep state community. If you're watching this, you are a part of the deep state MDX community. You need to hit the like button, okay? That's what I'm asking for. Hit the like. So this has actually changed a lot considering this winning trade here. So we're actually around about 3% win rate. Sorry, 3% profitability win rate of the 10 last trades. 5-star rating. I won't make it big again, but you guys can do this on your indicators. Go to Trend Collection, and you can actually change all the settings. And guys, we're going to be changing the names of the indicators on the first. Actually, it will probably happen tomorrow, but the significant code changes will happen on the first of the month because we do our updates then. But all of the indicators are going to have a slightly different way that they look in terms of their name profile. So we're changing the naming system. And actually, it's just going to say MDX, and it's going to be called Trend Master. So this indicator will be called MDX Trend Master instead of Trend Collection. And we're building a whole master suite with the legacy suite. And then the indicators are going to change quite a lot, guys, in the MDX world. But in terms of code changes, that's on the first. And then the code changes we all have documented through the tutorial videos. But most of it's relatively the same. It's just organization stuff. It's not logic. The logic is there. The logic of these indicators is there. They're profitable. They work. You can use them. The trading bot works as well. What we're doing now is we're spending a lot of time just increasing the ease of use of a lot of the settings within the indications. So like you can go in there, you can change more things, and we've roughly speaking made it look, let's just say, more user-friendly, okay? Because they are quite complicated. Anyway, so yeah, guys, we are having this move now. This is on the 5-minute time frame. We had a nice move. It's a profitable trade on this specific one. So what you're really waiting for on the lower time frames, legends, and I've said this obviously again a lot. It's a lot, many times. It's the devil level. We've got a deviation of the devil level now. If this comes back into here, because you got to remember we've only just carved out a higher high here. What you're really waiting for is, are you going to come back to the devil level? It would actually probably be a little bit higher than that in terms of where it finds support. It would actually be more likely to come in here. If you draw on the node, it's probably going to come in around there. So it's where it is right now, it's finding support. But if it wants to come any lower, it's going to come into around here. And that obviously lines up with the volume pocket, okay? So you can see, like I talk about the wall, is a brick wall of buyers. So it's likely going to get some sort of bounce off that, okay? So bang, bang in there. This would be the scenario for the higher low. And that means the devil level, this is the springboard. If you break the high, you'll probably actually come into it with a little bit more resistance, and then you'll break through it. And, you know, a lot of guys would say, oh, yes, we're doing some sort of cup and handle. Yeah, whatever. It looks like, the titty fucking pattern. I don't know, whatever you want to freaking call it, leggies. All you're looking for is a higher low for the spring. And then this would be a continuation up. And then if we do break the high price, that would invalidate the parameters that I would be able to take the short with, because the parameters of the short are not met yet. The stars are beginning to align. Let's just be completely fair here. The stars are changing, and we've got very close to this line being stopped out, which is the first thing we want to see. We want to see the bot come out of the trade and take profit. Then we want to see the next buy signal, and does it line up with the EMA ribbon, and also does it line up with the Fibonacci retracement numbers, okay? So it's looking pretty interesting. We're getting closer. What you're looking for, guys, on your charts right now when you're trading is to wait for the devil level to be lost first, wait for that sell signal to happen, and then we can think about the short. But right now, you can't think about shorts. The parameters are not met yet. It's still up only. We're still consistently making higher lows on higher time frames. We're above essentially everything, really. Like, there's nothing lost here. We're making higher lows. We're above the prior area of resistance right now, and also above the devil level. So, the probability is still for it to rise. I'm just saying that when the stars do eventually align, like Orion's fucking belt, when Orion's belt aligns, okay, and you see, that film back in the day, Hercules, when the stars are moving, it's the cartoon version of Hercules. When the stars align, things begin to change. And that's what I'm saying. I'm waiting for the stars to align, and that's exactly how you should be trading. You should not be trying to force things onto the market. You should say, I don't know what's going to happen in the market. I can give what I think, my hunch, but I am going to wait for my parameters to be met to make the trade, and then you'll be more consistent, more profitable. And also, those are quantifiable factors instead of subjective bias, okay? I've said that many, many times. And I feel like in these fasts, I'm just rattling this shit off. I feel like I'm rapping. Yeah, so it's probably more likely to continue up. And then in terms of for the bulls, what we're looking for is, are we going to get above the high price? We've got some resistance up here, the cloud as well, in terms of the indicator cloud. What you're looking for is here. Do you come into it? Are you going to get a higher low and then actually break through here? That would actually be a short. Okay, so if you're doing short-term trading, there would be a short here. And if it did wick up to it and then come back in and then start making lower highs, you would be actually essentially in at the top for a short position, and I'll take that trade as well in terms of this flat SR, and that short would be very nice. But in terms of the long side, here's the level to break above. Higher low you're looking for. Are you going to find support in that pocket down here? That'll be a nice trade at the devil level. Here, a little bit of resistance, probably get through it. And the faster we go up now, the better. Okay, and then the next area is a resistance. And we'll bring up the 4-hour for this on the auto charting tools, because this will essentially just spell it out for you. The auto charting tools is going to show up here, lots of blue, and you're probably going to get some stuff in here as well, okay? So this essentially what we're looking for. It's just loading now. The indicators are there. Yeah, it's literally bang on what I said. So turn all this shit off. Sorry, not that one. Or the trend collection. So I said in here, resistance, and then you got the high price as well. So this will be the next area, looking for maybe something like that. And then if it comes to 72, if you want to zip out another level, sorry, let's go on the daily time frame, and I'll show you on the daily where it's really, really, really coming in at some resistance zones. And obviously the auto charting tools is just a confluence thing, because you can see where the resistance is very clearly on this chart by where the prices began to fall back down. But you're going to see a big blue pocket in here. So yeah, that's the next real area for in here. If it comes to there now, I think it's another good opportunity to wait for the parameters to be met, wait for the stars to align, and then execute that trade. It might happen now. It might happen then. I don't think Bitcoin just does this and then just continues out of this. If it does, fair fucking play. I haven't taken the short because the parameters aren't met. I'm continuously in my long anyway. And if that happens, legends, the long trade we have from the auto, my trading bot, like this is what I talk about, playing chess. Okay, so I'm looking for shorts, but I'm long from here. Okay, so, if we do continue up and just go up to $100,000, this position here, legends, will still be in. And if we actually, the max winning trade on is on 1x leverage. So the bot trades 1x leverage. 100K is here. Let's just say we did do it, and I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying the probability is probably less that we're not going to get some resistance at 72. But here's where the bot entered. If you wait, if we go to 100K and the bot goes all the way with it, the MDX Trading Bot, that will be the best trade it's ever made. And what you find with the MDX Trading Bot is that it will make, it will have drawdown periods, and it will lose for maybe months on end, and then it will suddenly catch a 70 to fucking 75% trade, which completely wipes out all of its losses, because all these losses are like 3%, 2%, 5%, 1%, 6%. Add all those up, you're looking at 25, and then you got to remember as well, when things go down, I've said this on my prior stream, when things fall in price, the amount of money you need, so let's just say you're falling in price here, right? To go back to it, it's a different percentage. So it's 20% down, 25% up. So the bot will lose on the way down, but then guess what? You're going to get those big wins on the way back up. So it's pretty interesting, guys, in terms of if we did do that, then fine. Like I said, this game is about playing chess and poker and essentially statistical analysis or mathematics. But I would say mathematics actually comes last. A lot of guys think that mathematics is what you need to be a good trader. Not necessarily, because you can be a good poker player and not have the best maths. I wouldn't say maths goes before understanding risk management. So I would say you have to prepare for things, obviously, and you have to have systems. But I think the most important thing is having patience and composure and being able to control yourself. Those are the most important things. The mathematics can come later. I wasn't like a major or an incredible mathematician myself. Like, I wasn't even in the top sets in maths at school. I was in like the third down. Like, say there's 6 sets, I'd be like in the fucking middle. I was like the average Joe with that. I got a C. If you guys know what GCSE is, I got a C in GCSE mathematics, which is literally like the epitome of the middle. And I've made millions and millions and millions of dollars trading. So you don't need to be a mathematician. It will probably help you or aid you in terms of being able to have statistical analysis and look at things and backtest things and then come to a conclusion on numbers. Yeah, it can help you, but you can have your numbers all fucking right. But if you start chasing and start getting emotional and fuck up your fucking plan and don't have consistency or discipline, you can have all the numbers in the world. It's like you can be really good at simulating when you're driving in an F1 car. Like, oh my God, I'm so good when I simulate myself driving the F1 car. What does that mean? You're not in an actual car. Like, it's not an event either. So it's like when you're simulating an F1 car, everyone's a fucking great driver, aren't they? You're confident. There's no pressure. You're driving around. It's all easy. Like, there's things like aiding you. As soon as you get into the Grand Prix fucking final, the whole world's watching you. Your teammates are like, you need to win. You're sitting there. You're sweating your tits off. It's hot. The engine's behind you. Like, there's a whole different fucking thing. Same in trading. Simulation trading and, anyway, we're going down that rabbit hole. I want to just keep it straight on the charts. So, yeah, you guys tell me in the chat as well what time frame we want to do. I'm going to look at some other stuff as well. Let's just quickly look at the traditional stock market as well, just because I do think there's some stuff to be said here. We had that pullback. We are now bouncing back up. You can see 1% Apple, amazing. That's going to drag up everything else. You can see lower fucking SPX numbers, in terms of the lower caps. They're not doing as well as the high caps. The big boys, the big fangs, they're the ones moving the market right now. Amazon up 3.7%, which is a very, very big day. You guys know that if you trade stocks and shares. NVIDIA has come down a little bit from it's 5%. I think it was 3.5% actually gain yesterday. But the big boys are leading the market. Economic calendar, whatever. If you want to get news, guys, if you want to get the best news in the industry for crypto, financial traditional markets, and then global news, just get my newsletter. The link is in the description. If you scroll down and see free resources, sign up to my newsletter. 5 people write that. It's me, Guy, Jay has input with that. We have our Viking who does it's like 4 or 5 people are writing that newsletter every Monday. You get it on Monday. You will know everything you need to know about what's coming up in the weekend news. What's happening with the fucking government shit, Biden, whatever. It's my newsletter. I will post it in a second, but let me just whip through some of the different charts. SPX leggies. I'm going to start doing SPX a lot more because obviously Bitcoin's a bit boring right now, and I obviously didn't come, strictly speaking, from trading crypto at the very beginning. I was actually in Australia, and I was trying to trade Australian dollars to Great British pounds on CFD exchanges, and then lost that, and then I found out about Bitcoin. That's how I found about Bitcoin. It wasn't that was like maybe 10 years ago. So we do want to talk about this as well, and this is obviously what we were speaking about yesterday. We've come into support, and we found support exactly where you would expect. You got to remember, guys, SPX will trade very, very organically, or let's just say it will trade slower, but it will trade the levels much more consistently, okay? So here's the prior high, very similar to what Bitcoin just did. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. You see this level here? It's come into it and it's bounced off it. It's just the area resistance turns support. Extremely simple, basic technical analysis. The same thing happened here with the SPX, okay? So I do think that SPX is absolutely clean sailing right now. All the doomsdayers when this happened. Oh my God, it's over. I'm going to short. No, not yet. There might be a short coming in around here. I wouldn't probably take it, guys, because there's nothing really broken. If SPX went to here and it broke this level, then I would actually be like, yes, this would be a valid short position on SPX. But there's no point taking the trade. Like, it's like trying to pick a needle in a haystack. It's consistently making higher lows and high highs and just continuing up. It's probably quite likely to happen again. So I would say don't take this position. Also, when you draw the EMA ribbons, it's just going to be coming back up. So I wouldn't say there's anything here. The short sell was there if you want to take a scalp trade. But I reckon this just comes back up to the highs. You know, we do something like this, holds it there, back in, high-low structure, and just continues. And looking at the inflation-adjusted data, SPX has still got a long way to go. I still need to get Viking to make me an inflation-adjusted chart. I could work it out on TradingView, but I just can't be bothered. This is the level to hold. So to flip vice versa, if we did come into here and you lost it, I would look for a short on SPX if we hit this level again. So we come up, we hit it again, and that would be when I'm like, okay, maybe we're getting something descending here, and I would actually potentially look for a short position. It would likely be in this level here, okay? Because you can see that's where it found support, SR, flip it on itself, you could see something like that, and that would be a break. And then if we do lose this, SPX could come down quite significantly. I think we'll probably end up doing something like this, which would be fine, and likely we're going to come down to Fibonacci retracement pockets, and I would say the lowest we probably go is roughly around here. That would be probably as low as it goes for that move. And if it goes to there, then yes, we can do another fib on it and then see if actually we're going to really break down. But, you know, there's a couple areas here of support which it's got before anything happens to SPX. It's clean sailing, long until proven otherwise. And I do think, ultimately, if the Fed do bring down interest rates eventually, we might have a moment where we have risk assets pulling back. But I don't think it happens long term. Sorry, my neck. It doesn't happen long term. So we have a risk when the Federal Reserve do bring down interest rates. I do see on a lot of charts that there is a synergy between potentially having a pullback in risk. After that happens, it's off to the races again. I think when money begins, because you got to remember when governments print money, they are inflating the supply of whatever base currency they're doing that on. But it's not like they print money and then tomorrow prices rise. It takes between 12 and 18 months, maybe even longer sometimes, for the result of inflation to hit the market. Is exactly the same with Fed interest rates. There's going to be a lag time between when the interest rates come down and if risk is going to pull back. And then after that, the market's forward thinking. So I think it will be bought back in because that presumption of new capital or new money on any market coming in will inflate the prices due to there being more dollars or yen or euros or whatever it is bidding on the same amount of stocks and shares. The stocks and shares balance is not growing as fast as the amount of dollars which are being created in circulating supply. So by basic mathematics, the price must rise to equate for the value that they're at. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So US 100, I do look at the US 100 because I did say to you a second ago that actually what we're seeing is the bigger numbers. So the biggest 100 are leading in front of the rest of the 400 on SPX. And you can see this has been articulated pretty nicely here with a big buy. Let me just get on the hourly time frame so you can see the buys coming in here. And the SPX is kind of leveling off a little bit in terms of that index. Dixie, we spoke about it yesterday. And it's exactly the same what I said yesterday. If Dixie does lose the middle ground here and then loses the lows, if Dixie wants to come down to this, the probability of going here is very high. When this happens, that's likely going to be the bull market for Bitcoin. Okay, that's when Bitcoin's going to likely be doing a bull market. I still think Bitcoin can rise if Dixie's rising, because if we do have a fiat currency collapse, I do think Dixie does that because people are going to buy US dollars with that fiat currency that is collapsing. So the purchasing power of that fiat currency will move into US dollars because US dollars are the safe haven of fiat currencies. So I do think if we have some more fiat currency collapses, the Dixie will rise. I do think Bitcoin can rise with that. There's not a correlation between Dixie going up and down, which means Bitcoin has to. The more of the correlation is towards gold, actually. And I would say the bigger indice markets. But Bitcoin can rise with the Dixie, okay? So just to say, two ways of going in it. If we do it down here, the probability of the bull market in Bitcoin happening is increased. But even if we do come back up to this area, for resistance, that could be a fiat currency collapse. You could see a nation state fail. You could see some sort of issue with a new world order style thing where people start using the BRICS instead of the dollar. Whatever. There could be an inflow in some way. The BRICS is a good point as well, because we've got to think about that. If people start using the BRICS instead of the dollar, that will increase the probability. But going by flat technical analysis, you can look at this yourself. It's just very simple. The levels are in the levels, and if we lose the lower side levels, the probability increases. But if we lose here, it's going to there very likely without a stop. In here, it's going to get jammed around. There's support and resistance in here. So it's going to have a little bit of up and down. But if you lose the lows, it's very likely just going to go in one go back. And at the moment, we're close to the highs, because if we go like that, it's going to be a big move as well. So Big move playing out. Probability right now, looking at the chart, is probably a little bit lower into the mid zone, and then we'll see what happens going forward. But I've said from the very beginning that my hunch actually is probably higher first. Great British Pound, US dollar. I don't want to bore you guys to death with the UK story, and I've been calling this for many, many years. I said before anyone could even comprehend this, I said that in the future, $1 will represent the same as €1, and people laughed me out the fucking room. They're like, there's no chance. Fast forward to what actually happened. It happened 2 years ago, and now it's even worse. Okay, so $1 equals €1 happened, and I predicted it from the very beginning. Maybe 5 years ago, I said that happened a couple of years ago. Now what I'm predicting is that it's going to happen to the Great British Pound as well. So one Great British Pound will eventually turn into $1. And that's going to be like, oh no, it can't happen. It's not going to happen, but it will. It's going to happen. Okay, one Great British Pound will equate to one fucking US dollar sooner than you think. There is nothing on this chart. Like if you invert this and you're a fucking meme coin holder, you're like, yes, look at my meme coin. I love it. Like if you look at this chart, you're not going to be like, yes, it's over. Like, there's nothing on this chart which is saying that. It's just higher lows all the way up. Just think about it as though you love this meme coin. You're like, yes, it's going up. Like, it's higher lows, higher highs. There's no break in structure above everything. It's the same thing if you invert it for the great. It's just the same thing. It's very unlikely that it's going to be able to get above this. It could retest it, for sure. But it's unlikely that it's going to be able to carve out and break above that. It could happen, but I think it's very, very unlikely. What's more likely to happen is that it continues its downtrend from, what are we looking at? 1980s going back. So lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. It's just more likely that you're going to get another lower high and it's going to make another lower low. So the Great British Pound, unfortunately for you Brits out there who own and hold and store your Great British Pounds because it's the longest standing fiat fucking Ponzi ever. Yeah, it's not going to be great for you. But if the UK government was smart, they would use this to their advantage to entice foreign investment, because if $1 becomes £1, then all these guys who have $1 million suddenly have £1 million, and the purchasing power will go into that market. So there could be a big inflow of international trade and investment into the UK. But remember, England is the most bureaucratic fucking the policies and the bureaucracy and all the crap they have. They are never, ever going to just say, yes, come and invest. Come on, America. Come on, Europe. Invest in England because our fucking Great British Pound is low. No, they're never going to do that. They're going to regulate it to fucking into nothing. They're going to put huge tariffs on it, and American goods and services, they just won't let it in because they're scared about all the quality of it, even though they could just screen the quality and only let products in which screen that quality, but they don't do it anyway. So, yeah, not a good outlook for that side of things. The euro as well, it's the same kind of story. It's already hit $1 to €1, so it doesn't really matter. But again, long-term downtrend. Europe have a better chance of having a strong euro than the Great British Pound for sure, because they have a bigger, 350 million people in Europe. I think it's 400 million people in Europe. Actually, if you take away England now, and maybe it's a bit less, but they have a higher. The probability of them doing it is probably higher. But having said that, the probability might be higher of the European Union, Europe basically doing better than the Great British Pound, but they haven't really got the mandate to change as much because of all the crazy fucking politics they have there. England could bring it back if they had a big change in the way they deal with foreign investment and the way they have the government within the country, but that doesn't look like it's going to change. Maybe reform or something in the future if he comes out with different policies, Mr. Farage, but it's a tough one, legends. England's on a downward spiral for sure. They need to have a complete radical change, but they could do it because they own their own shit in England. Well, the politics is now within England instead of being happening in another country or wherever in Brussels, etc. Anyway, I'm dragging on about it. Who gives a fuck? I don't live in England anymore, and I do love England. It's my hometown, but the tax regime is too aggressive. Anyway, I didn't even do Tesla. So Tesla actually looks pretty decent, guys. I was saying, many months ago that I did think it's going to come and retest the lows. Everyone was getting very, very gung-ho up here saying, yes, it's all, we're going back up. It's all going to be great. But actually, I was calling for potentially coming down to retest the low. It's a pretty good spring off. You could end up seeing this being the base. Overall, this looks like a good chart. This trend line doesn't mean anything anymore. It's already happened. It's a pretty decent chart. You've got some decent buy entries as well on the indicators. Like, that's a phenomenal trade going into that. If I turn off the take profit signatures, you're probably going to see a slightly more profitable back-tested result. But I would say it's probably going to have a short from all the way here going in. Yeah, so it's actually roughly speaking the same. So I'd say this is a nice trade here, guys, to get into in terms of the long side, and I wouldn't bet against this right now. I'd say that Tesla's probably